opening tip takes us to L.A., where last week the legend Magic Johnson said Lakers Nation, quote, deserved better. LeBron and company delivered with a win against the Jazz Monday. LeBron had 25, 7, and 7, and then afterwards addressed Magic's concerns about such a disappointing season.
I think we all understood it. We understood that our effort and energy wasn't where it needed to be. In the Denver game, in the second half of the Memphis game, and then whatever the other game we lost. It wasn't playing, to our capabilities, but we weren't giving maximum effort. So, that starts for me as a leader of the team, and so just taking the onus, letting Laker Nation know it wasn't about anybody. It was about our fans and the people that ride and die for the Lakers every single day. Let them know that I got this and it wouldn't happen again.
Now, one of those people that rides and dies with the Lakers, we all know, is Magic Johnson, so he has weighed in. Stephen A. Smith, what happens now?
One of the players outside of Anthony Davis or LeBron James is going to get traded, or Frank Vogel's going to get fired. This is not complicated, ladies and gentlemen. The Lakers have a standard. They're not living up to that standard. And when you hear effort and energy being questioned and you're 18th in defensive deficiency and 27th in points allowed, these are problems. There's no way around this. Somebody is going to pay. Magic Johnson's a very busy man. Okay, he's a very busy man. Runs more than a $500 million business. But he takes the time to tweet and says, "This is embarrassing. Jeannie Buss, you deserve better." We all have known Magic for decades. He doesn't do that for no reason. It's code to say to Jeannie Buss, all right, enough's enough. It's time to make a change. Enough of this nonsense. And that's exactly what she's going to listen to. Make no mistake. Let them keep doing this, hovering around 500. Watch what happens.
She can want to do moves, but they handcuffed. Yeah. Because you're talking about moving somebody besides LeBron or AD. Good luck with that. Okay, because Russell will be a Laker. Yeah. And so what he's going to start figuring out is go to the basket and dunk the ball and shoot less threes. But what I'll say about the Lakers, when you look at the actual pecking order in the West, I'm confident in what I've seen in the Suns, the defending champion, and obviously the Golden State Warriors. And then there's a different level to me of the Grizzlies and the Utah Jazz. But I ask both of you guys the question. If the Lakers are healthy, do you pick them in a series versus Memphis or Utah?
No.
Because I do.
No.
You do?
I do.
No.
The way LeBron is playing, people forget, the Lakers have the highest scoring duo in the NBA. Anthony Davis ain't playing. Avery Bradley's playing quality minutes for them. Monk is playing quality minutes for them. Now Stanley Johnson is playing good minutes for them. When AD get back into the lineup, remember I told you this, the Lakers are going to be right in the mix behind the Suns and the Warriors.
Wilbon has to take. I'll deal with you later. You are wrong. You are wrong.
So last night, I started thinking about one of those teams because youth never does anything in the NBA. Old people succeed in the NBA, which puts the Lakers sort of back in the mix. But suppose it's a 4-5 with Memphis. Who would I take in a specific, and that's a very likely possible scenario, Memphis and the Lakers. And as much as I look at the Lakers and just say, the Lakers are not a good team. They're just not. I'm hard pressed to take the young Memphis Grizzlies who haven't done anything yet, whose players I want. I would like to extract their players and put them on a playoff team. They need that veteran player, which, by the way, Perk was saying. Stephen A., let me just say this. I don't believe the Lakers are any good as a playoff team and no threat to Phoenix and Golden State.
Facts.
But if they have to play Memphis, and I love the way Memphis is playing.
And Utah.
Yes, but for the Lakers, it has never been about can we beat Memphis. Let's just be very clear about that. Stephen A., go.
I think this is blasphemous. I think this is blasphemy on y'all part. Let me tell you something about the Memphis Grizzlies. These brothers got athletes.
They do.
They got youth. They have depth.
What don't they have?
Hold it. And they have a star, a closer, a closer. Okay.
What don't they have?
Excuse me. I get your part about the experience, but if you going against an elite team, that experience comes into play. I've seen plenty of teams with experience, but they lacked effort, they lacked energy, they lacked cohesiveness, and they got smoked. I saw that before, and I can see that happening to the Lakers. Oh, by the way, Donovan Mitchell is going to talk to Engel and Clarkson and Gobert and the rest of those boys. Say, look, man, I'm tired of leading the playoffs early. I mean, I'll be damned if we're going to lose to these Lakers. Yes, Memphis and Utah could take LA.
Mark my
yes.
words. If the Lakers get into a series versus Memphis, not only do I think they'll win, they'll be the favorite in the series.
But let me just finish this by asking you a question. If the Lakers beat Memphis and then get ridden out by Phoenix, is that a successful season for this group?
No, they have championship or bust expectations.
Well,
that's why I'm putting
saying.
levels on this. There's the Suns and the Warriors.
You're talking about Anthony Davis playing differently than the Anthony Davis we saw playing before he got hurt, right?
Yeah, he got to make his
okay, good.
shots,
He got to change better. He can't shoot 17% from three-point
All
range.
facts.
We will see.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.